Hi world, it's the 10th of September 2021. It's mid-afternoon, just about chucked down with rain I think. I'm surrounded by herds of geese. You can't see them and they're not squawking at the moment, but yeah, they might squawk in a moment. A few years ago I was looking at the long-term future and I was talking about how January 2020 was going to bring this big grand conjunction. And as a few of you know, at various times in the past I have mentioned the word pandemic. Now, the thing about COVID that happened in January 2020 and has continued to this day, well, the Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto thing of all of last year, it kind of cleared around December 2020, and there was big hopes that around that time that the COVID situation would dissipate from then on. Didn't. Instead, in 2021, we've got this Saturn-Uranus square, which is going to continue onwards through into the middle of next year. These are really challenging times in human history, and viewed large-scale long-term, taking the individuals out of it and any specific thing out of it, you know, that the whole human experience is changing now. The way we think, feel, the way we rationalise, the way we act and react. It's been a game changer in this last year and a half. And we can't go back to the way it was. It's just not going to happen. I mean, we're trying. There's this sort of knee-jerk reaction to go back, but I want to have all my benefits, and I want to have foreign travel, cheap foreign travel, and I want to continue throwing plastic wrappers in the street, and it's not going to be like that anymore. So how is it going to be? Well, as an astrologer, I suppose I should be able to answer those questions. I've got one or two ideas, but that's not the purpose of this video. I want to explore my ideas on what's really happening to us as individuals. Now, when I was born with the moon at 21 degrees of Sagittarius and Mercury at 21 degrees of Gemini, the exact opposition of the moon with Mercury. Neptune's squaring them both at the moment, thank you Neptune, but that's another matter. I was born with the moon, which rules feelings and emotions, exactly opposite Mercury, which rules intellect and mentality. Now, on the one hand, it's a real curse because I can never be sure about which is stronger, what I think or what I feel. On the other hand, it's a blessing because I can get the best of both worlds. But it's got me thinking, viewed from an astrological perspective, what's happening in the world in this last year and a half, and is going to continue happening probably for the next 10 to 11 months, is a kind of reset. And I suggest that it's changing us as humans. It's making us reassess and it's changing the way we work as individuals. So let's try and put this in terms of context. In the past, we've always been clear about the fact that as humans, we have this capacity for logical, rational and analytical thought. We can think in patterns, we can think in straight lines. 2 and 2 equals 4. We know that we can make plans and the plans will normally work out. We know that if we catch a train, it's 99% going to arrive at the destination at approximately the time we expect it's going to happen. This is the benefit of having a logical, rational, analytical mind. We can build machines, we can make plans, we can think in straight lines. And that perhaps sets us apart from any other animal that's currently living on this planet at this time. And with our logical, rational mind, we can also let it dream. And we can be imaginal, we can dream, we can fantasize, we have imagination. Many of us, especially those who are into the more aesthetic or esoteric sides of life, will also acknowledge that we have the capacity for intuitive capacity, where we can sense in an irrational, illogical, unexplainable way certain phenomena, feelings, where we just know that something's not right, or something is right, or someone is or is not telling the truth, and we just know it. And that's our intuition, our internal learning. And that's still a kind of product of the rational mind, because we sense it mentally and we try and analyse it. I suggest that in this last year and a half, there's been so much dis and misinformation that many people have become so screwed up, they don't know what to believe anymore. And they've been kind of indoctrinated into doubting their own senses. They don't even trust themselves anymore. So it's got me thinking, well, what is this rational mind, this logical mind? And is that all there is? And then I started thinking, well, wait a minute, I live in a body. It's chucking it down with rain here. I live in a body that was around before logic and rationality developed. To quote Terence McKenna, human history represents such a radical break to the systems of biological organisation that preceded it, that it must be a response to some type of attractor or dwell point in the future. Something in the future is magnetising us forward in a way that's never happened to any other species on planet Earth before. And when you actually look at the human body and you realise how intricate it is, from the genetics and the DNA through to the glandular system, the digestive system, all the functional little parts, the millions of different minute organs, glands, everything, and how they all work together symbiotically. It's a marvel of engineering, and it makes me wonder how that evolved naturally, biologically, without any external help. So this leads me on to assume that, wait a minute, our bodies just came from Neanderthal man. And there was a time about 1.5 million years ago when Neanderthal got off its hands and feet and went into vertical mode, started looking up at the stars. About 150,000 years ago, Neanderthal started turning into Homo sapiens, and we started getting the idea of rational communication, rational thought. From that time onwards, we've developed as human beings in a way that's different to anything that's ever happened before. And it seems that we've been given this ability in some shape or form to not only have the human intuition, but also to trust the animal instinct. We have instinct. We live in an animal body. All animals have instinct. It seems that as humans, we've been bred into trusting our minds, trusting our logic, trusting the words of our leaders. And we've been taught to deny our instincts. So what's the difference between intuition and instinct? Seems to me that intuition starts at the solar plexus and goes north. It's a human construct. Instinct starts at the navel and goes south. It's an animal instinct. So is one better than the other? No. There's a symbiosis. There's a synergy between animal and human. We're more than we've taught to be, and we're certainly more than the powers that be would like us to be. So I guess what I'm saying with all of this, and especially in these current days where there's so many configurations up there that are setting out whole radical game changers. Never been a time in history like this. We don't know who to believe anymore. We don't know what to believe anymore. I suggest we need to start trusting our own gut instinct, just as much, if not more than, our feelings or our logical, rational, analytical mind. Trust your guts. It's that instantaneous, nanosecond gut instinct where you just know that something's right or wrong. And by the time the mind or feelings have got hold of it, it's gone. We're living in radical times. Trust your guts. Search for your own internal, well, to call it magic is pejorative. Your own link with the divine, however you experience the divine as being. It is magic. There's still a lot of magic out there. Go and find it. Enjoy. trust your gut instinct. Catch you later, world. Bye.